Part 99. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich John Word. Chapter 981. Chapter 981. The bottom line is meant to be broken. You must know that the bottom line is something that is meant to be broken. Once it is broken, there is no bottom line. At least this is the case for Lu Jing. These days, everyone in Lu Jingmei says, I didn't expect Luo Qian to be that kind of person. If he had known that Luo Qian was that kind of person, he would not have had contact with Luo Qian. What else can I say to say I'm sorry to Sun Ying'er? It's all exaggeration anyway. How exaggerated? Say exaggerated. At first, Sun Ying'er really felt that she had wronged Lu Jing, but as time passed and looked at Lu Jing's situation, she couldn't help but feel that this guy seemed to be enjoying himself. Enjoy. When this idea appeared in Sun Ying'er's mind, she really felt that there was something wrong with her brain, but it was really not Sun Ying'er's fault. It was entirely because when Lu Jing was talking nonsense, his expression was really, as much as he wanted. Show off. Sun Ying'er found a gap and pulled Lu Jing to a secluded place. And Sun, what's the matter? Is there something wrong? Lu Jing, who was pulled over, asked curiously. Sun Ying'er looked Lu Jing up and down, and finally couldn't help but ask, Lu Jing, are you going too far in saying this? In fact, you really don't need to make such sacrifices. There are some things that you can just click on. That's right, it's really not good for you to do this. Sun Ying'er is really embarrassed to say directly, you are going too far and it makes you look stupid. Although Lu Jing's smile almost reached behind his ears when he was talking nonsense to others, this matter was really too much for a man. Sun Ying'er was afraid that if she spoke harshly, it might hit Lu Jing. But unexpectedly, Lu Jing waved his hand, and Sun, how can you be so kind, and even I know that some things must be done to the extreme. If you keep doing it, then your opponent will what to do if you counterattack. But there is no but, and I am really happy now. Ha ha ha, those fools, no matter what kind of nonsense I say, they will believe it. And Sun, I hope you will not call me stupid in the future. What kind of stupid? If I really want to, if I were stupid, would I still be able to lie to these people? Lu Jing's face was a little proud when he said this. Lu Jing admitted that he was still a little uncomfortable at first, but, as he talked more, it really didn't feel uncomfortable, and he also felt like he was playing with everyone. He finally understood why some smart people like to play with people's hearts. If you play with people's hearts, it will be really interesting. And Sun, I really feel that you should not call me stupid in the future. After all, if I am stupid, then there will be smart people in this world. I am very smart. You see, they are not being played by me. Sun Ying'er really doesn't know what to say now. This guy is really obsessed with this matter. Even now I really sympathize with Luo Qian. I sympathize with Luo Qian for meeting such an opponent. And Sun, did you listen to what I said? Hey, I'm talking to you. Let me tell you, you can't say I'm stupid in the future. I'm really not stupid. Lu Jing, who was ignored, was in a mood very uncomfortable. He's been talking to her here all the time. How can you just ignore it? Is Lu Jing so without a sense of existence? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich John Word. Chapter 982. Chapter 982, Don't you feel uncomfortable when you speak without conscience? Okay, you're right. Everything you say now is right. You're smart because I didn't understand anything before. It's because my vision was too low. It's my fault that I didn't notice your smartness before. It's all my fault, it was my fault. But even if Sun Ying'er said this, Lu Jing was still very dissatisfied. After all, this tone really needs to be as perfunctory as possible. Lu Jing took a few steps towards Sun Ying'er and reached out to pinch her chin, and son, are you just trying to deal with me like this? Is it really difficult for you to admit that I am smart? Don't you feel uncomfortable when you speak without conscience? Lu Jing. I think people who don't find it difficult are almost the kind of people who have no conscience. Do you think you are that kind of person? This sentence really confused Lu Jing. You, and son, you are trying to make excuses. How could you do this? You are really going too far to bully me for not being able to speak. Humph, you are still an elder. How can any elder bully others like this? Sun Ying'er raised her eyebrows slightly when she heard this. This guy always mentioned elders. Why is it like a moral kidnapping? He. That's right, that's what Lu Jing thinks. The thing is like this. One day, when Lu Jing was on the street, he saw a child telling his parents that he was bullying him just because he was a parent. When Lu Jing saw this, he suddenly became enlightened. Yes, both Sunian and Sun Ying'er want to save face. After all, they are not like themselves. It doesn't matter how stupid others think they are. Hey. Why didn't you speak? Are you feeling guilty after what I said? Oh, you are just bullying me. Bullying an honest person like me is really a bit too much. Stop, you're being moaned. Don't forget, you are a man about 1.8 meters tall. For a man as big as you, what are you saying at this time, such as moaning? Do you really think it's okay? If you're whining, then I'm really not polite to you. But it's okay if Sun Ying'er doesn't say this. When Sun Ying'er said this, Lu Jing became even more arrogant and got closer, and son, you are rude to me, and you are still threatening me like this. Do you really act like an elder now? Sun Ying'er, okay, now Sun Ying'er really regrets it. I regret why I have to be so confused and why I feel sorry for this guy. It seems like every time I feel sorry for this guy, nothing good comes out of it. Just when Sun Ying'er spoke again, scolding Lu Jing, a stranger's voice sounded. When I heard Lu Jing say that Luo Qian was pestering him, I thought there was something going on between them. After all, there is a saying that a slap can't make a difference, especially for such a thing. I didn't expect Lu Jing to really like women. And he and that Sun Ying'er seemed to be very close. Sun Ying'er. At this moment, Sun Ying'er suddenly had a bad premonition. He immediately pushed Lu Jing away with his hands and quickly looked for the person who spoke. But I didn't see anyone. Did you hear a sound just now? Sun Ying'er scanned the surroundings very vigilantly. Lu Jing saw Sun Ying'er like this and asked in confusion, and son, what's wrong? What's the sound? I didn't hear anything just now. What's wrong with you? Did you hear it wrong? No, I really heard someone talking. When Lu Jing heard this, he looked around, but he didn't see even a hair, and son, who is here, and we didn't say anything or do anything outrageous just now. Even if there is someone, why are you so afraid? Sun Ying'er heard this and felt it made sense, so she immediately stopped searching. That's right, it doesn't matter even if there is someone. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich John Word. Chapter 983. Chapter 983 Sun Ying'er is furious. The next day it was proved that Sun Ying'er was wrong. It is related, quite related. The reason why I say this is because there is news. The reason why Luo Qian treats Sun Ying'er like that is entirely because Sun Ying'er and Lu Jing are actually together, and the two are love rivals. Someone said that he saw Lu Jing and Sun Ying'er chatting in a remote place. However, as time went by, For some reason, Sun Ying-er and Lu Jing kissed passionately for half an hour. Then, it got out of control. Sun Ying-er was furious when she heard the news, and immediately pulled Lu Jing in front of her. You said you should talk nicely. Why do you want to be so close to me? Why do you want to be so close? What do you think of? Lu Jing looked aggrieved. But the more Sun Ying-er saw Lu Jing's aggrieved look, the more she felt uncomfortable, super uncomfortable. What do you mean by looking like this? You are still aggrieved. If you weren't standing so close, I would have left it like this. When Sun Ying-er said this, she looked at the sofa. Nian, stop laughing. If you laugh again, I will be really rude to you. That's right, Sunian was laughing next to him, and he was laughing so hard that he couldn't help himself. It's really funny after all. Lu Jing was talking to Sun Ying-er, and they were so close that it could even be called a waldong. Ha ha ha. Hearing this, Sunian couldn't help but reconstruct the situation in his mind. But it's okay if you don't restore it. If you restore it, it will just be there. It's really a bit out of control. The kind that is very uncontrollable. Lu Jing, are you suffering from the overbearing president's disease because you are barely considered a domineering president? Ha ha ha, I really can't control it. Sunian burst into tears as he said this. I really can't control it. The more Sunian behaves like this, the more unhappy Sun Ying-er feels. In this unhappy mood, there seems to be something else. Of course, Sun Ying-er doesn't feel it at all at the moment. Now Sun Ying-er really wants to kill this guy. What else could Lu Jing do now? He could only lower his head and look aggrieved. But what else could Sun Ying-er do? After all, even if this guy doesn't fight back or scold him, it's of no use. Sun Ying-er took a deep breath and said, that's fine. This will make it appear that what you say is true. It will also ensure your reputation and you don't have to worry about others thinking too much about you. Now I can only think like this to comfort myself a little. But, Lu Jing is not very good at hearing what words are good and what words are bad. When he heard these words, he immediately felt like he was forgiven. Yes, that's it. What is this called? What is this called? If you plant flowers intentionally, they will not bloom, but if you plant willows unintentionally, they will become shades. Now it's fine. I just want to see how that Luo Qian can fight with me. When Sun Ying-er saw him like this, she thought of the way he talked nonsense to those people, and immediately lost her composure. Hey, I want to make it clear to you. You can't talk nonsense in the future. If you talk nonsense, then I'm not polite to you. Unexpectedly, Lu Jing frowned when he heard this. And son, what do you mean by this? What do you mean I talk nonsense? Why do I talk nonsense? I have never been the kind of person to talk nonsense. All right. Sun Ying-er snorted coldly when she heard this. How could Lu Jing be able to say such things so easily? Is his conscience really not painful? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 984. Chapter 984 Pretending to be a couple. Sunian, who was listening next to him, couldn't help but ask after hearing this, Sister, what do you mean? Are you pretending to be a couple with him? But this method really works. Although it is possible, this matter is really a bit too bloody. It can really be said that it is extremely bloody. Sun Ying-er said with great disgust, what else can we do now? This is the only way to push the matter to a climax, but it doesn't matter if we make some sacrifices in order to achieve some goals. Of course, Lu Jing, just don't talk nonsense. If you, Lu Jing, are really talking nonsense, then I will really be rude to you. Pretend to be a couple. Sun Ying-er felt that the only risk with this idea was that Lu Jing liked to talk nonsense. There is nothing more than this. She felt that she had to keep a close eye on this guy and not let him ruin her reputation. Hmm, that's right. When she thought of this, Sun Ying'er couldn't help but glare at Lu Jing. What else can Lu Jing do now? He can only remain obedient and silent. Suddenly I don't want to hide here anymore, and suddenly I want to follow you. Sunian couldn't help but speak when he heard this. But it was okay if Sunian didn't say this. After Sunian finished saying this, Sun Ying'er walked directly to her side and twisted her hard. Sunian, don't forget, you are my sister. As a sister, how can you say such things? Don't go too far, you. I'm not excessive, I'm just curious, just simple curiosity, just pure curiosity. Woo, sister, I was wrong, I was really wrong, sister, please forgive me. Curiosity, let me tell you, curiosity kills the cat, you know. I know. Although Sunian kept saying that she knew, she couldn't control the smile on her face. It's just a joke. Sun Ying'er has not forgotten important things. 3 chapters of agreement with Lu Jing. When Sun Ying'er finished speaking, Lu Jing immediately said with a smile, it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter. As long as you are happy, and Sun, I will listen to you in everything. If you ask me to go east, I will never go west. Really, I swear, I really swear. I'm really not joking. If you mess around, I'll be really rude to you, so don't be playful with me here. This is a very serious matter, super serious. What else could Lu Jing do when he saw Sun Ying'er like this? He could only put away his smile, and Sun, don't worry. Even though I am not smart, I can still understand this. If I really don't listen to you, the consequences will be very serious, very serious. Sun Ying'er looked at Lu Jing's appearance and felt that she was really stupid for saying this to this guy now. Otherwise, how about saying that I am your suitor and I have been trying to find ways to pursue you? Sun Ying'er sneered, you think I didn't think of this? Don't forget, you were so chasing after Lanzi before. If you really chased her, then where would you put your face? You didn't keep saying it, I still want to find a wife. I can say with certainty that if you really do this, you may not be able to find a wife in this life, no, or in the next life. What else could Lu Jing do, but just shut up? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 985. Chapter 985. Lu Jing, God is jealous of my perfection. Although Sun Ying'er was ready, what kind of trouble would it bring to herself after the news of the scandal with Lu Jing spread? Even set rules for Lu Jing overnight. But the first troublesome thing happened, and she was caught off guard. The reason why I say this is because who would have thought that someone would suddenly send her so many banners? What kind of good man is Qing Tian? What moves people all over the country? What kind of living Guanyin is there? This even made Sunian, who was hiding at home, unable to bear coming. Looking at the number of these banners, Sunian couldn't help but marvel. She looked at Lu Jing, who was standing next to her. Young Master Lu, I'm really curious about what you did to make so many rich ladies treat you like this. You can't avoid it, so that you, who has such status, are reduced to a situation where you can't find a wife. Lu Jing did not expect this scene. Although he was not very smart, he still wanted to save face, so he said, Auntie, these are all slanders. They can't get my people, so they love to hate, that's why they are like this. That's right. Really? I still remember that time when you said you wanted to go on a blind date. The rich ladies fled to the limit, and some even bought standing tickets overnight. Sun Ying'er's cold voice sounded. This also made Sunian think about it. At the same time, Sunian remembered that in the setting of this book, Lu Jing was silently guarding Lan Min and never married. In the book, he was an absolute Chinese-style dog licker. But now I feel that this is not the fault of the setting. After all, I don't follow the plot very much now. This guy still looks like he can't find a wife, and he is absolutely single. It's just those people who have no vision. What do you think I, Lu Jing, lack? I don't lack anything. Sunian, lack of brains. Sun Ying not only received these banners, but also many familiar wealthy ladies asked her on WeChat what she thought, and some even said, even if Huo Linyuan doesn't like him, there is no need to be so decadent. There are still many beautiful things in this world. When she thought of this, Sun Ying couldn't help but tell her sister about this guy's glorious deeds. Nian, his situation is not only because of his low IQ, but also because of some of his naughty tricks. You also said, his family property is here, and there was also a woman who was fascinated by him and wanted to seduce him. I remember that there was a young lady who once had a blind date with him. The blind date took place by a river. When he and the young lady were walking, he accidentally pushed her into the river. I didn't push it. I wasn't paying attention when I turned around and accidentally hit her. After hearing this, Sun Ying stopped and looked at him. After looking at him, she continued, another time, he went on a blind date and made an appointment at a restaurant. Unexpectedly, the girl got food poisoning when she returned. When people went shopping with him, they almost got hit. For example, Sunian was a little stunned when he heard this. This operation is really too slippery. This is a plot that really feels like the god of death is coming. The god of death is here. Although Lu Jing didn't know what Sunian meant specifically, he felt bad hearing this god of death. Ahem, those are really accidents, definitely accidents. If they are not accidents, then the two of them auntie, you and I are not unlucky at all. It is an accident, yes, it is an accident. It is because God is jealous that I am so perfect as a man. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Zhang Word. Chapter 986. Chapter 986. Come on, I will arrange a script for you. What's the meaning of death coming? Sun Ying asked curiously. Sunian then told her the story of the coming of death. Sun Ying looked at Lu Jing after hearing this, and she felt a bit similar. But, how can you say such unlucky words? It's really unlucky the of death is coming, auntie. If you continue to say such things to me, then I will really be angry. But such childish threats were of no use to the two women. Moreover, Sun Ying has really strong opinions on such threats. In the past, she thought that Lu Jing's threats to her were intentional, but just to disgust her. But, it turns out that Sun Ying thought too much. This guy is just plain stupid. Hey, so many banners really gave me the illusion that I am a great benevolent person who has done great good deeds. Hey, but for me, I am really a little curious about my future death. After that, how will the Lord of Hell calculate my merits? After all, I should be regarded as saving all sentient beings. Lu Jing suddenly lost his composure when he heard this, and son, you really shouldn't go too far. You are like this. What's wrong with me? Lu Jing, shut up. Sun Ying had already made up her mind to have an affair with Lu Jing and spread something, but, such a posture really made Sun Ying start to struggle. If she continues like this, her reputation will be ruined. Now she really wants to kill that Luo Qian. How could I have been like this if it weren't for that Luo Qian? Although Lu Jing didn't want to admit it, seeing Sun Ying like this, he still felt a little responsible. He felt that as a man, he had to do something, so he immediately cleared his throat and said, Sun auntie, don't be unhappy, I have sent people to find the best jewelry, which will definitely make you the most envied by women in the world. If other women heard this, they might be particularly happy. But Sun Ying didn't show any interest. Even sneered. You are trying to coax a child. What about jewelry? Do you think I need those things? Do I have no money? Can you use some snacks? If it were before today, Sun Ying would definitely not have said this, but with so many banners, if it were here it's so simple, then you really become a joke in everyone's eyes. No wonder you didn't catch Lan Min with the way you are now. How could you possibly chase Lan Min? Your methods are really tacky. Forget it, I'll do it myself. Sun Ying finished speaking. After saying this, he looked at Sunian. Nian, come here, let the two of us figure out what kind of behavior will make others think that he is more sincere to me than Lan Min. This is very simple, just have a perfect reason. These words made Sun Ying curious. Actually, most of them think you are just putting on a show, including these banners. They are also in the mood of watching a show. After all, no one in this world doesn't like excitement. Anyway, if you want to use this to cause trouble for him, what's the trouble? Shouldn't we be able to send banners? Does the country have any laws? But now we will give you a perfect reason for your relationship, so that everyone will feel that the two of them are a true love. Sunian is a woman, and women are always more delicate. Plus, she has read so many Mary Sue novels, so she is very powerful in this aspect. Come on, I'll arrange a script for you. Lu Jing and Sun Ying walked over. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich John Word. Chapter 987. Chapter 987 Sunian's Pity. Sunian stayed with Sun Ying for a long time before going home. While in the car, Sunian couldn't help but sigh. Josu, who was sitting in the front seat of the car, suddenly became excited when he heard Sunian sigh. He knew that his chance to show off had come. Madam, what's wrong with you? Why are you sighing? If something really happens to you, you can just tell me directly and I will definitely help you handle it. Nothing. When Josu heard this, he thought that there was something that Sunian didn't want Li Baikan to know. He immediately spoke and promised, Madam, I have been by your side for so long, and I am really yours now. If you have any troubles, you can really tell me, and I am here by your side. Whatever you need me to do, I'll take care of it for you. Don't let anything be too troublesome. I'm by your side, so there's nothing to trouble you about. It's nothing, I just wonder why I'm not a man. If I were a man, there would be a lot of women around me with my methods, I would definitely become the king of the sea. Josu. This. Josu quietly looked at Sunian through the rearview mirror. Unexpectedly, I saw Sunian's serious look. I really don't want to be funny. What else could Josu say, other than, Madam, your idea is really unique, but don't worry, I will definitely not say anything similar to Mr. Li, and I will definitely keep it a secret for you. These words successfully made Sunian laugh out loud. Josu, you are really humorous. It's not humorous, it's serious. I'm taking my wife seriously. But Josu stopped after saying this, and his originally flattering expression became serious at this moment. Madam, there is a car following us from behind. Sunian also stopped smiling. Although Josu usually hangs around Sunian and has a great time, after all, he has been with Li Baikan for so many years and has never been a vegetarian. While driving seriously, I was still checking the license plate of the car behind me on my phone. I didn't expect to find out that this car is actually a deck car. When he found out this, Josu realized that something was wrong. Madam, I think it is necessary to call Mr. Li. The current situation is not very good. In case, I think it is better to let Mr. Li come. No, if I let Baikan come, if this person's purpose is to see that Baikan is not injured, then wouldn't everything Baikan do be exposed? Now we are walking on the main road, and I think anyone with a little bit of brains will. I won't do anything at this time. Josu knew clearly that what Sunian said made sense. But I'm still a little worried. But what if the situation like Lee Baikon's attack occurs again? As the saying goes, if you are not afraid of 10,000, be afraid of anything. If something like that really happens, I can say that I am really doomed. Josu, have you forgotten what you just said? Josu suddenly became honest. Haven't forgotten, really haven't forgotten. Sunian casually glanced at the car behind him and began to wonder who this car was. Suddenly Sunian had a bold idea in his mind. Tell me, is Lan Min driving the car? These words made Josu's expression change immediately, because when he knew someone was following him, he filtered a series of people in his mind, but he didn't expect it to be Lan Min. Having been dealing with Lan Min for so long, I know exactly what kind of woman Lan Min is. And if I remember correctly, Lan is still pregnant and driving at this time. Isn't there something wrong with her brain? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich John Word. Chapter 988. Chapter 988. It's really Lan Min. It's actually very simple to know the answer. You find someone to come over now, and then attack the car from the front and rear. If the car disappears before the person you are looking for comes, then it proves that the person driving this car, or the person driving this car, the people behind the scenes are smart and we need to take them seriously. Josu felt it made sense when he heard this and started making phone calls immediately. After giving orders to the good people, Josu drove in a circle. Sunian turned his head and looked behind him. Gradually, she discovered that the driver's skills were not very good. She felt as if she had guessed correctly. But Sunian really didn't know what to say. What was Lan Min thinking about now? What should I do if I come here to attack myself and really force Lee Baikon out? You must know that in the current situation, Lan Min is probably the person in the world who least expects Lee Baikon to appear. If she were Lan Min, why did Lee Baikon not show up? What she needs to do now is to gather power. As long as the right is obtained, no matter what the reason is, Lee Baikon will eventually swallow his breath because of the reasons that did not appear during this period. Well, if Lan Zhen can really think of this matter, then she is not the heroine of Mary Sue. Soon, the person Josu called arrived. He just surrounded the people. Sunian got out of the car and saw Lan Min holding his stomach. Well, even though Sunian had received so-called professional training, he still couldn't help laughing. After Lan Zhen heard Sunian's laughter, her face turned pale. Sunian, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? I want to know what you want to do. Don't tell me. Are you here just for prenatal education? When Sunian heard this, he couldn't help but clapped his hands a few times. If it's true, if this is the case, then I can only say that Miss Lan, you are awesome. Your child is ahead of many others in terms of prenatal education. You are really awesome. How could Lan Min not understand this truth? She also knew that her child was her only bargaining chip at the moment. Lan Min's appearance here was not her intention, but Lin Na's intention. According to Lin Na's words, now that she is pregnant, in some respects she has the moral high ground, and it is indeed easier to do some things. So Lan Min also came. While driving, Lan Min was really scared. Afraid that something would go wrong while driving. If something went wrong with the child, and it was her own fault, Huo Linyuan would definitely get angry. My own situation is certainly not good. But there is no other way. If Lan Min wants to become MRS Huo and become Huo Linyuan's legitimate wife, he must do something. Sunian, this is my business. How do I provide prenatal education for my son? You are not qualified to take care of it. You must know that we are on the road now. Could it be that you, Sunian, are so powerful that you can take care of it on the road? Sunian raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard this. What is it today? Why is Lan Min so stubborn? Does the sun come out from the west? For this reason, Sunian also looked specifically in the direction of the sun to make sure that there was no problem in the direction in which the sun came out. Sunian, are you listening to me? Yes, yes, of course. I'm not deaf. How could I not hear you? Lan Min, if you have anything to say, just say it. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich John Word. Chapter 989. Chapter 989 is withdrawn for you. Why are you here now? Sunian was slightly stunned when he heard this. What does this mean? You must know that although Sunian is very familiar with Lan Shi's brain retardation, he was also confused by his inexplicable words. The reason why I say this is because Lan Min follows his car and must pay attention to his itinerary. It can even be said that he sends someone to follow him. Under such circumstances, it seemed that she should be the one who asked why Lan Min appeared here. This way of opening is really wrong. Are you sure you're asking this question? How about I give you the opportunity to withdraw it, and you can ask the question again. After all, your current question really makes me don't know how to answer it. Although Sunian's tone was natural and even more sincere when he said this, it made Lan Zhi's face look a little bad, because Lan Zhi even felt that Sunian treated him as a child. Is there something wrong with the question I asked you? Why are you here? Aren't you taking care of Baikan recently? You are here, so who will take care of Baikan? In fact, you, a woman, have not taken good care of Baikan at all. If I'm not wrong, this is the reason why Baikan is always in bad health. Lan Min has no choice but to bite the bullet and continue. Sunian instantly understood these words. At the same time, he patted his head gently with his hand. She now really feels that her stereotype of Lanzi is a bit deep. Hey, this kind of behavior is really bad, very bad. What if this Lanzi suddenly becomes smarter? Although the possibility of such a situation is really small, there is such a small possibility. Why don't you speak, Sunian? You don't actually take care of Baikan seriously. I have been with Baikan over the years, and Baikan has been injured many times, but Baikan has never been in such a situation. After all, what's going on? Have you taken good care of Baikan seriously? Sunian, didn't you keep saying that you love Baikan very much and how much you care about Baikan? Why are you like this at this critical moment? I understand. You actually don't care about Baikan as much as you said. In fact, what you said are all lies. You just deceived Baikan in order to provoke us. You are really hateful. No matter what Lan Min said, Sunian didn't say anything. It seems that the whole scene is Lan Min's home field. The more Sunian behaves like this, the more panicked Lan Min becomes. What exactly does this cunning Sunian want to do, and why doesn't he say anything? What should she say and do now? At this moment, Sunian's voice finally sounded, Miss Lan, have you finished what you should say? Lan Min, who finally heard the voice, secretly breathed a sigh of relief. What do you mean, have I finished saying what I need to say? Do you mean that I am meddling in other people's business? That's right, now Baikan and I are there is indeed a misunderstanding, but no one can ignore the long-term friendship between me and Baikan. No, I definitely don't have such an idea. I'm just asking. After all, Miss Lan, you have been talking for so long. Now I am really curious about whether your mouth is dry. After all, I have also been pregnant before, and I know that pregnant women need to pay a lot of attention. If you don't pay attention, a lot of things will happen. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 990. Chapter 990 Lin Na cursed. The reason why Sunian didn't speak. I don't know what to say at all. Because she saw a Bluetooth headset on Lan Min's ear. If she guessed correctly, then Lin Na must have given instructions through the earphones to help her with ideas. But, this headset is really a bit too big. That's how it is described. That headset, only a blind person can't see it. In this situation, what else could Sunian do? She could only wait quietly and see what they could say. After all, she felt that in the current one-on-two situation, they would definitely come up with some surprises. At the same time, she was also curious about what Lin Na, who was hiding behind Lan Ji, wanted to play. Sunian's guess was correct. Lin Na was indeed understanding the situation through headphones. Lin Na on the other side of the headset was really going crazy. In this situation, Lan Min had no chance of winning in front of Sunian. Even as she was in the same camp as Lan Min, she felt that Lan Min was not worthy of being there at all. Sunian appeared in front of him. If she were Sunian, she would have killed this Lan Min long ago. But in the current situation, what else could Lin Na say? She could only take a deep breath and say, Lan Shi, what you have to do now is to stabilize your disgust. You have to know that you are facing Sunian. If you don't stabilize yourself, emotions, then you really lose. Doesn't Lan Min know this? But Sunian is really too cunning. Didn't give myself a chance at all. Sunian, did you listen to me? Did you do something to Baikan? Did you? Hey, you can't talk nonsense. What did I do to Baikan? Why did I do it to Baikan? Chen, what are you doing? Such a good husband, such a good man, it can even be said that there is no such good man in this world, I will not lose him stupidly. Sunian wanted to see how long Lin Na could endure it. Although she did not come forward during this period, she still investigated Lin Na. Lin Na has been extremely outstanding since she was a child. She must do well in everything and be first in any aspect. She even went to ask the old man for information. The old man said that Mr. Lin had told him countless times that it was a pity that Lin Na was a girl. It would have been better if this Lin Na had been a boy. Hence, it can be inferred from these aspects that Lin Na is a very strong person. Can Lin Na with such a personality really endure being behind such a stupid person as Lan Min? Of course it wouldn't matter if Lin Na didn't appear from Lan Min's side, she would find other ways. Oh, Miss Lan, thank you very much. Thank you for reminding me. If you hadn't reminded me, I wouldn't have known about this. Okay, I won't talk to you anymore. I'd better go back. Take good care of my husband. After all, according to what you just said, Miss Lan, if anything goes wrong with my husband, it will be my responsibility. The reason why Sunian was so sure that Lin Na couldn't sit still. It was because she hadn't appeared for so long, and even if she showed up just once, Lan Min couldn't wait to cause trouble for him, and Lin Na probably felt the same way. However, it would be okay if Lin Na didn't think so. Then the game will become more fun. She was somewhat looking forward to such a situation. Lan Min, who finally caught Sunian, suddenly became anxious when he saw Sunian leaving. Sunian, you can't leave. When Lin Na in the earphones heard Lan Shi say this, she couldn't help but curse, are you a fool? Why did you say it directly? How can you fight with Sunian like this? Just like you just fortunately, Sunian is not interested in your current man. If she is interested in your current man, then you will definitely not be able to keep it. End of this chapter.